Alright, today I'm going to show you how to make your own 3D artwork that you can view on a 3D TV or your 3DS or your HTC Evo 3D, any 3D screen. And we're just going to be using a regular image editing program. I'm going to use Photoshop, but you could use Paint.net or Gimp, both of which are free. So I'm going to start up Photoshop here. And we're just going to do a new image here. And actually, let's flip that, because those are the wrong dimensions. Alright, I'm just going to draw some simple shapes, just so you get the idea, but the same principles can be applied to just about anything to create a layered 3D look. And draw a circle here. Draw another circle. And another. I'm going to put some text in. Change up the colors here. Alright. Now this is just some simple 2D art, nothing special about this yet, obviously. And over here in our layers, you can see here's our text. Here's a couple of circles that we made. And the background we don't really care about. So we need to make a left and a right eye image to get the 3D effect. To make this easy, we're going to group these into a layer, or into a group I should say. So we'll grab these, select all of them, and let's see here, somewhere, group from layers, we're going to call this left eye. And you'll notice I didn't include the background. We don't actually want the background included in the group. Now we're just going to duplicate the group. Call it right eye. So now we have a left eye and a right eye. And now we're going to talk about how to make things closer or farther away from you. When things are closer to you, they're going to move the opposite direction as the eye that's looking at them, which sounds confusing. But it's pretty easy to test out. Just hold your finger right in front of your nose and close your left eye, keep your right eye open, and then switch. Close your right eye and keep your left eye open. And just blink that back and forth a little bit, and you'll see your finger jumping to the left when your right eye is open and to the right when your left eye is open. When things get farther away, if you look at something across the room and open one eye, then close the other, you'll notice they don't really jump anywhere near as far or at all, depending on how far away they are. So you just apply the same technique here, moving the copy in each direction, and you'll get a 3D effect. You can sync things back into the screen, or you can move them forward. So I'm going to start with the big circle. We're going to make the big circle closest to you. So in the right eye here, I'm going to move it to the left. So the easiest way to do that in Photoshop is hold down Shift while you hit the left arrow key. That'll move it 10 pixels each time you hit it. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I moved it 100 pixels to the left because that's the right eye. And we're going to go over to the left eye. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 100 pixels to the right. So now with that kind of offset, that's going to put it sticking out of the screen pretty far. The middle size over here is going to be maybe just sticking out of the screen, but it's going to be pretty close to right at the screen. So maybe here in the right eye, we're only going to move it one to the left. And then here in the left eye, we're just going to move it one to the right. Now the small one over here, we want to actually be sunken back into the screen. In order to do that, we need to make it go the same direction as the eye. Just like when your finger was staying in the same place, but as you open and close each eye, it'll jump back and forth. In order to keep your finger in the same place, you would have had to move your finger closer to the eye that was open. So to simulate something being far away, you have to move it the same direction as the eye. So here for the right eye, I'm going to move it now this time to the right. And then the left eye. And that's the principle behind everything. If you want something to be at screen's distance, don't offset the images. Keep them the same. If you want something to stick out of the screen, move them in the opposite direction of the eye. If you want them to sink back, you offset them the same direction as the eye that they're in. And it's something you can play around with, and luckily Stereo Photo Maker also has an alignment tool that can sort of help them line up properly if you set them off too far or something's not quite right. It's pretty easy to fix, and I'll show you that once we finish this image. So let's go ahead and do this text as well. So here in the right eye, let's move it to the right because it's going to be far away. And I moved it 60 pixels to the right. I'm going to move the left eye 60 to the left. Now close, we want it close to us, so we need to move in the opposite direction. So we'll move the right eye to the left. Moved it 80. And we'll do the same thing over here to the left eye, we'll move to the right. And there we go. Now when you look at it, it sort of looks jumbled and, a little confusing. But we're going to make two images out of this. So we're going to hide one. And now we're going to save this as a JPEG. So it'll fit right back into our MPO file. And save it to the desktop. We're going to do custom art R, because that's the right eye's image. Now we're going to hide the right eye layer, show the left eye layer. This is the left eye. Save that. And now we're done with Photoshop. Obviously, this was a really simple example. It's not like you would really want to probably create art with 3 circles and 2 words. But the principle applies to anything you want to do. Create a scene with things farther away. If you just want to put a floating logo over an image in 3D, or a photo that you've taken, if you have a 3D photo and you want to superimpose your logo on it, you might as well have it stick out, make it look nice. So you can apply this if you want it to sink into the screen, like your logo's sitting back in the background, or whether it's popping out in front of everything. There's all sorts of cool things you can do to enhance your 3D photos or to make your own 3D artwork. So we're done with Photoshop. I don't really need to save that. Now we need to fire up the Stereo Photo Maker. Mine is just unzipped to my documents. Stereo Photo Maker. Open left, right images. And you just hold down the Control key to select them both. So hold down Control, hit left. Hold down Control, hit right. Now they're both selected. Open. And now you can see they're 2 separate images. Of course, they still don't look 3D. And they're not going to until you look them at on a 3D screen, or you can go ahead and make a 3D image with your 3D glasses. If you have a 3D TV, there's different ways to set it up. You can even make it flicker the image back and forth if you have the glasses TV. But in my case, I don't have any of those fancy things, so I'm just going to save it as an MPO file so I can look at it on my cell phone. So save MPO file. And we don't need to keep the -L or -R, because it's one image now. Custom art. Hit save. Now I've got this. I can drag it over to my phone or your 3DS or whatever it is you can look at 3D images on. And it'll be there. It'll pop out in 3D. And you can make all your own artwork now. Thanks for watching.